How's it going, everybody? Training Camp Live, presented by American Airlines. It is joint practice day between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. We have the triumphant Training Camp Live return of Bryan, Broaddus. I'm Kyle Youmans. Let's get to it. We've got some offensive line, defensive line, one-on-one drills, and this is a little bit different when you're looking across the line of scrimmage and you're seeing a completely different jersey as Jared Verse goes up against Awesome Richards. And not a great first rep for the Cowboys.
No, that's an old ACC matchup right there. And there's probably been some times those two have met before. But Verse, first-round pick by the Rams, though, he is one of those guys, as you can see right there, the quickness, the agility, the lateral slide. That's an all-day thing for Awesome Richards. Awesome Richards has actually done pretty well some of these practices against Michael Parsons, but right that time, Verse was a little too much.
There's Matt Willetsko going up against DeJuan Johnson on the edge. But I think that's something to keep in mind is first time that both sides are seeing a different color jersey throughout the preseason. Johnson with the win that time.
Right.
So it's a different feel, but at the same time, you've got to rely to what you've been working on in training camp. You can't change things up just because it's a different team.
And you saw a really good example of that right there with Willetsko was he got beat on a bull rush. And then so what did he try to do? He tried to set short the next time, and then he caught himself lunging. And then, as you mentioned, Johnson was able to get past him.
That was Tyler Davis up against Josh Ball on that last rep. It looked like a win for Davis. See what Ball has here at the right guard spot.
That's a good set right there. Good job by. That's what you got to do right there. Make sure that they, if you're gonna short set them like that Ball just did, make sure you get your hands inside. And he was able to stop the progress right there and get himself set up. Nice job by Cooper Beebe right there.
Corey Durden, the defensive tackle. Beebe, of course, we talked about the snaps. Playing center, having to marry the two together, having a clean snap, and being able to block. That was a decent first rep.
There he is. Oh, yeah, got a little bit over the top of his skis there. But when you allow the defender, and what they'll do is with these centers, they'll attack your snap hand. And if you don't get your snap hand up quick enough, then they'll pull you like they did forward.
Good rep that time from the Cowboys side of things.
And Shipley. Right there, it was good. Yeah, he's been playing a little bit of some center, some guard, and getting an opportunity. Oh, they're a little short set right there. I keep talking about that short set though. That what you're trying to do is just trying to prevent that defender from getting up the field. He's going to have a charge, and you want to stop his charge and then make him restart again. And Shipley was able to kind of get his hands up on him that time.
Earl Bostic at left tackle. Trying to work around against Braden Fisk, second rounder out of Florida State.
Yeah, Braden Fisk, one of my favorite players coming out of the draft. Again, another Florida State kid, was really like a defensive tackle, like it was going to play a 1 or a 3 technique. In this scheme for the Rams, he plays as an end. So he's working a little bit further outside the ball.
What do you want to see in a drill like this? Because it's different for every player.
Yeah, this is hard. this is not an easy drill for the offensive lineman to deal with because again, the count could be your advantage, but what you want to see is technique. See right there, Steele, he just got way too aggressive, and then what happened is footwork was terrible, and then he was lunging, and then he had to go chase. But again, it's just about he's got to sit, and be patient. Just sit down right there. See, sit down. That's a much better job by T.J. Bass right there. Just all you want to do is get those hands inside and sit down on the guy. Don't chase. Don't get too far up the field, and don't become a one-legged football player.
So it's not only the physicality of this drill, because going mano-a-mano is never easy.
This is not. No, this drill was not made for offensive linemen for sure. But just your ability to be able to to sit. See right there, very good. There you go, right there.
That's a great rep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he wasn't impatient with his set right there. Feet was good. The base was good. His hand placement was really, really good. And then you just sit down on the guy right there. And if he's going to bull rush you, just take it right there. Here's Awesome Richards now again.
And against Jared Verse too.
Yeah, much better there. He realized right there that okay, here's a guy with extreme quickness, with some power. But yeah, just get your hands inside. Verse tried to bull rush him there a little bit, and Awesome Richards was able just to sit down on him, and that's what you got to do. Play with a base, and then allow just to use your hands inside and keep them from the quarterback.
Well, let's go. Beat on the swim move
inside.
Yeah,
he got a little. See, his weight transferred. All his weight went on his outside foot. His weight shifted from his left foot all the way to his right foot. And there's a good set right there. Good job.
And Mike McCarthy talked about this a little bit earlier about how when you do go up against a different team, it's completely different from seeing your own players, because by the time you're seeing your own players, you know their tendencies, you know their usual go-to, but now it's a little bit different.
It is a little bit
because
different.
It's a completely different individual.
Yeah, it is a completely different individual, and but like I say, you have to be able to adjust as you're going along. And there, good job by Cooper Beebe right there. There you go, sit down. Defender tries to get all the way to the corner on him. What do? Slide, 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 and then make sure that you're able to hold him off and keep him wide. Dak Prescott has shown the ability to slide forward in the pocket. That's what you want to do.
Earl Bostic.
Yeah, Earl Bostic, just not the strongest guy. So what happens is he tends to lean on guys. And so, when you lean on, you got to be careful, because if that guy, he can pull you out of his stance for sure.
As soon as you shift the weight, then all of a sudden you're falling forward, and then you're lunging again, like we talked about earlier. Better rep here from Maletzko. Got outside, was able to square up against Anthony Goodlow and avoid a sack. Yeah,
Goodlow had him beat, though, up the field onto the outside here, and then he shifted back to the inside, and it kind of Maletzko was able to work back in. I'll tell you what, really good job by Ball. I mean, every rep that he has, you want to keep your face out of the block. Anytime you're leaning over, you get pulled out of your stance and pulled off balance. But Ball's done a really good job of sitting down and keeping his face back, extending with his hands. Shipley got beat right there.
And I know we've talked about this a lot on the draft show, but that's also the equal to dropping an anchor, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You got to have a drop an anchor.
Yeah, you got to drop it, and again, there you go, right there. If you're gonna just try and bull rush or run over Cooper Beebe, you're not gonna win many reps.
Yeah,
and that's why right there, the kid's got lower body power. He can extend on you. He's not the longest guy, but man, when he gets his hands on you, he can cause problems. Saw some Richards again.
A lot of hand fighting that time. Looked like he won the initial rep. Then Bobby Brown, the third, got around him. Good reps back and forth, offensive line, defensive line. You don't always get an opportunity to do this.
No, you really, really don't. And to see the other, to get a different opponent. And they'll have an idea now on Sunday when they play against each other.
Sure.
At least you've had an idea of who you've gone against. I felt like early in the drill, some of the some of the Cowboys offensive linemen were a little too anxious. You need to just set a little bit, have a little bit more patience. They'll coach it off the film and get it right.
All right, wrapping things up here on the offense-defensive line one-on-one drills. We're going to move into some team drills with Isaiah Stanback. But, Bryan, I want to get your final thoughts on what you saw in that drill.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think the Cowboys' offensive line, the technique early was not as good, but as the reps went on, they got a little bit better understanding of who they were up against, though, and getting back to what their techniques in a good way with the hands, the feet, the base, kind of keeping everything together.
And, of course, you can always hear the Scout's Eye of Bryan Broaddus on the Cowboys break and on 105.3 The Fan. Bryan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
There you go. Here's Isaiah Stanback as we get into some team drills. Here's Isaiah Stanback as we get into some team drills. Isaiah, by the way, very nice job this morning on Good Morning Football.
Appreciate that, KY.
Yeah, always fun. Got to talk about your wrestling career a little bit. Hopefully we won't see a ton of wrestling out here. We're going to keep it clean in practice today, right?
Yeah, try your best. It's always difficult whenever you at this time of camp and you having joint practices, but we're going to see what we get.
And so this is a great look at first-team defense versus the first-team offense. We've got Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp available. No Puka Nacua today. He did sprain his knee earlier in the week, but we still have Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, no Trayvon Diggs, but Jordan Lewis in the fold. Tutu Atwell to the right side of the formation as Stafford goes under center. And go with some play action. Good pocket for Stafford to throw. Dumps in underneath. There's the rookie. That is Blake Corum out of Michigan. And, of course, Corum coming off of that national championship. They're excited about him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Michigan necessarily this year, Kyle, being that they beat Washington. But that was a nice little play action they ran over there with the Rams. But it's good to see our linebackers having disciplined eyes and really getting to their marks. You can see Zimmer really having a big impact on them this year already.
Well, that's the thing. It's all about angles. It's about being in the right place at the right time. You're not necessarily making a tackle in these practices, despite it being a different jersey on the opposite side. But there's still a lot of things you can look for as Cooper Kupp now lines up to the right side of the formation. Micah Parsons standing up off the edge. Little motion from Higbee. Oh, and there's some movement. I think Los Angeles jumped first.
Yeah, I would have jumped as well. It was Warren McClendon Jr. of the Rams that jumped. He had Micah Parsons standing over him. I would have been a little bit nervous, and I might have tried to get out of the box a little bit early as well.
And just a correction, that wasn't Tyler Higbee. He's out today, and that's going to be Colby Parkinson wearing the 86 in the blue. Higbee dealing with an injury as well. This is an offensive line for the Rams that's been banged up throughout camp. So with that false start, I mean, you're going up against a different jersey at the same time, and it's adjustment period for the Rams too.
It's good. It's good reps all around. This is why it's so important for these coaches to be able to get these looks on film.
So now Stafford back in the shotgun, same formation, bunch set to the right, just in tight, and now they move Parkinson from right to left. Handoff. Blake Corum again. They've got a couple of tailbacks that are going to test this Dallas defense today with Corum and then Kyron Williams. Of course, Williams was coming off of an incredible year, 1,400 yards or almost 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. I mean, he's been fantastic going into his third year out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, now we have a nice rotation. Looks like we're going to the twos, so we get an opportunity to get our eyes on 35, Maris Leufau, see exactly how he's doing.
The initial depth chart this week released by the Cowboys actually had Leufau as a first-team linebacker. He was the only rookie on either side of the football to have himself listed as a first-teamer, and there he is right there in the middle. Wasn't able to get the PBU, but he was there for what would have been the tackle.
Yeah, and one thing that's sticking out to me right now, even though they're getting completions, they're getting them underneath the coverage, and the linebackers, again, are not chasing the ball. They are not being tricked and fooled by the play action of the Rams right now, and that's, again, a testament to the discipline that's being instilled on the defensive side of the ball.
Jimmy Garoppolo, by the way, a quarterback. May have heard that name a time or two in the NFL. First year with the Los Angeles Rams after spending some time with the Raiders last year. Turns and gives it to Zach Evans. That's a Ole Miss product, but he played his high school ball at Galena Park North Shore down in Houston.
And it's good to see the run-stopping ability of this defense. Yeah, again, you talked about the running backs that they have over there for the Rams, but all eyes are going to be on the interior defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys as well as the linebackers to see exactly how effective can they be this preseason against the run.
Well, and it's depth-wise too, right? You got to have a rotation. You get to see Albert Huggins for the first time. He's wearing number 68 in the white jerseys today. Defense wearing white for the first time in camp. We've seen them really in the blue jerseys all the way throughout. Garoppolo near side. There's Kalen Carson. He was quick to it, but the completion made regardless.
Yeah, but the thing is, again, you saw him see the quarterback get the ball out of his hands from the shotgun. As soon as that ball comes up to the quarterback's ear, you know it's a three-step drop, so you're able to drive down on the route and able to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Former
Texas Longhorn and the rookie draft pick, sixth-rounder Jordan Whittington with the reception. So now first-teamers back in, Donovan Wilson, Nashawn Wright on the opposite side, and then Micah, Eric Kendricks, who we've talked quite a bit about. Really, this defense is healthy outside of Trayvon Diggs, and then Deron Bland out there too.
You get an opportunity to see Micah standing up as a linebacker in the middle of the formation on defense here.
See where he goes here. He's going to react to Stafford, a little misdirection. In the flat to Corum. You like that, don't you?
I like that because, again, you see that discipline with the eyes. Micah wasn't fooled. And then when they threw the ball out to the flat, who was Johnny on the spot? Eric Kendricks.
That's going to be a fun one to go through in film because you're going to see exactly who was leaning one way and who was leaning a different way. Chauncey Golston now into the rotation. Lee Cooker back behind. Micah straight up.
So 3-down lineman. Micah's in a stand-up over the center.
Yeah. He does rush right into the A-gap. Kyron Williams sneaks through. Looked like he had a hole on the left side. Is that a disadvantage to the Cowboys at some time when it's the running game? I get the pass rush ability of putting Micah Parsons in the middle like that, but is that tougher to stop the run in that regard?
I think whenever they decide to walk the linebackers up, it's going to be a little difficult because it's going to be even more important for those interior defensive linemen to be effective in their technique and how they go about their business because those guys are going to be in 3 techniques typically, which means they're on the outside shoulder of the guards. It's going to be a lot more difficult for these guys to be able to get pressure and constrict those holes.
This is going to be a fun one. Cooper Kupp in the slot up against Jordan Lewis. Stafford in the shotgun. Let's see if they throw it here. We've seen a lot of run action on this. They will give it again to Kyron Williams. There's Eric Kendricks. Read it perfectly and got in the backfield.
You love to see it. Big 5-0 running through there. You're starting, again, the discipline from the defensive side of the ball. Everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, and it's allowing those second-level guys to play free. Those guys are being unimpeded, being able to run and hit on the ball.
Gotta love that. I mean, he was having to sift through traffic as well. Still got out there, and here he is. He's getting blocked up here as Cooper Kupp has the reception. Nice job by the Rams of seeing that possibility because he was headed in the same direction one more time.
Absolutely. And you see these guys trying to outflank this defense. This second level is really running to the ball. The cornerbacks are doing a good job of being disciplined. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how teams are going to try to attack this Dallas defense. We obviously think it's going to be via the run, but if they decide to pass it, they might find some trouble.
Let's see if we can find an isolation on the outside here. Let's see if we get a good matchup here. Maybe Cooper Kupp and Bland or Cooper Kupp and Lewis. Maybe we ISO here. So we've got Cooper Kupp on the outside. Let's just watch 10 in the blue and see if we can get a good rep out of this from the defensive backs.
Run, 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 run.
And whistle was on the opposite side. It is a run, so Corum straight down the middle.
And that'll test your eyes as well, as we know he's a shorter in stature running back, but he's powerful. He has ability to be agile with his footwork, and he can catch the ball out the backfield. So he'll test this defense's discipline of their eyes as well.
He's always been praised for his low center of gravity. He's a smaller running back, but it does help him with his balance. He has some of the best balance out of the entire running back class, and he'll be tested here. Mozzie Smith checks in. That interior defensive line getting tons of work. Now it's Mozzie, Osa Odigizua, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Micah Parsons. Then at the second level, you got Willie Harvey Jr. getting in there.
He's been earning his keep here in camp.
A little motion here from Kupp.
Watch the run, run, run.
Play action. Stafford wants to throw over the middle, and there's Cooper Kupp. He was guarded by Jordan Lewis, and that's what Cooper Kupp does.
Yeah, they played a little bit of zone defense there coming off the play action. A lot of times you'll see cornerbacks kind of take a step up to ensure that there's no run, and then they'll kind of bail out to play zone. Cooper Kupp just ran a comeback. You really just a pass and catch whenever there's a zone behind it.
This is the next play. We just had to move spots, and it looks like that one a little bit overthrown by Matthew Stafford. Not the best coverage, but it worked out either way for the Dallas defense.
Well, it doesn't have to be the best coverage, Kyle, whenever you have that defensive line adding pressure on the quarterback. Matthew Stafford did not have the time to be able to deliver a nice, accurate ball because there's a number 11 that was chasing him.
And he's looking for DeMarcus Robinson on that specific occasion. So now the two's back up, but we're moving the ball down this drill. And if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and check out the other field, Nick Harris, with Nicole Hutchison and Patrick Nosey Walker. They'll bring some great analysis and insight from the opposite field. Two fields going simultaneously. We've got you covered here on Training Camp Live. Jimmy Garoppolo, handoff. That one snuffed out quickly. Good job by the Dallas defense.
Good job by the defensive front there. These are some of the guys that you're going to be seeing a lot of come this preseason. So it's going to be, these are good reps for them. They're getting reps today, obviously, in the scrimmage, but they'll be seeing these guys again very soon this coming Sunday.
I'm not just saying this because he went to the University of North Texas, but I have liked what I've seen from Keemon Hall. He was added midway through camp, and he's done a good job. Had a couple of picks on Tuesday, and that was a run stop from the cornerback. Now he sets up in the slot. Former practice squad player for the Cowboys back in 2020. Garoppolo has time to throw, wants to go over the middle, left it short, but the catch is made by Whittington.
And they brought a little weak side blitz on that one. Julius Woods, the safety for the Dallas Cowboys, 33, came on the left side. They did a relatively good job of picking it up. Garoppolo had time to sit back there. And if your quarterback has time in this league, he's usually going to deliver a dime.
Initially, and we were talking about this with Bryan, I thought the offensive line struggled on both sides, both with the Rams and with the Cowboys, because they have guys like Jared Verse and Micah Parsons getting after it. But if they're able to set up a pocket, all of these quarterbacks can throw the football. Dak, Cooper Rush on the Cowboys side, and then Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo on the Rams. Another completion far side.
To that point, Kyle, usually there's only about 64 active quarterbacks in the entire world that can say that they're professional athletes at the NFL level. So it's slim pickings at that position. If you give those guys time, they know what they're doing.
You think about the amount of investments that teams have put into Jimmy Garoppolo. Teams thought he was going to be a franchise quarterback. He's still young. He's got some time.
They thought he was going to be the next TB12.
Yeah, they certainly did. Certainly did. So it looks like we're wrapping things up here on this drill, and that'll wrap things up on this field for Training Camp Live. Like I mentioned, the other field will have you covered as well. Nick Harris will be joined by Patrick Nosey-Walker, Nicole Hutchison. Your thoughts as we wrap things up?
It's good reps, and I think the guys are flying around. It's really encouraging to see this Dallas Cowboys defense really be disciplined. I know that was one of the things that was supposed to become and actually preceded Mike Zimmer, and you're seeing that show up here on the practice field today.
That'll do it for Training Camp Live. We'll see you next time.